Portugal's Golden Visa is probably the most talked about Golden Visa program in Europe. It's undergone significant changes in recent years. So in this video, let's see what's new, what's gone, and how you can still make this charming country your second home. The Portugal Golden Visa is an absolute no-brainer. It's a very compelling opportunity with those with the means to capitalize on this opportunity. So first, a quick rundown. The Portugal Golden Visa, officially known as the Residence Permit for Investment Activity, ARI, was designed to attract foreign investment by granting residency and eventually citizenship to non-EU nationals in exchange for certain investments. However, the landscape has changed quite a bit. So first, let's talk about some of the key changes. One is, the big one really, is the end of direct real estate investment. As of October 2023, real estate investment was no longer an option for new applicants, a move aimed at easing the housing crisis in Portugal. This means no more buying property or investing in real estate funds to qualify for the Golden Visa. Now there's a focus on other investment types. The program now emphasizes investments in areas like investment funds, investing at least 500,000 euros in qualifying Portuguese funds. There's also a couple other ways to do it that are less popular, but I'll run you through them. So one is cultural and artistic contributions, requiring a minimum donation of 250,000 euros to support national heritage or cultural projects. There's also a program for scientific research, a contribution of 500,000 euros to support research institutions. And there's also a program for job creation, establishing a business that creates or maintains jobs, with a minimum investment of 500,000 euros, creating at least 5 permanent jobs. Now, most people talk about the investment fund approach. And the reason why is, well, the cultural contribution is a donation. You don't get your money back. The scientific research is, maybe that is a donation. I mean, that's pretty hard to get your money back from scientific research as well. But hey, if you're doing it anyway, you might as well get a golden visa out of it. And then the job creation one is a little bit more complicated. It's more paperwork, obviously, documenting that you've given 5 permanent jobs and all the paperwork that surrounds that. It's just more complicated than going the investment fund route, which is why the investment fund route is really the route that is touted and recommended by most Portugal Golden Visa professionals. And these are investments in funds where you're able to get your money back, and some of them have longer lockup requirements than others. Some are less liquid than others, but some of these investment funds are surprisingly liquid, where you're basically just investing in Portuguese mutual funds or in the Portuguese stock market. So it can be really quite liquid. There are other less liquid opportunities as well, where you're investing in a fund that buys and fixes up and flips hotels. Or I saw one that they start schools like Montessori schools, and you're buying into a fund that is spinning up these schools. So there's all these different creative funds. Probably one of the most creative I've seen is there's a fund that buys classic cars as an investment, cars that would appreciate in value. Maybe it's like some old Ferrari or something like that. And that's what that particular fund does. Okay, so there's a range of different fund opportunities with different levels of liquidity, different expectations regarding return on investment. But it's not a donation. You can very well get your money back and even make a solid return on your investment in these Portuguese funds, and then of course get the Golden Visa to go along with that. So next, let's talk about the application process and the benefits. So probably the main thing that people ask about is the minimum stay requirements. The stay requirement remains minimal, just 7 days per year on average, making it one of the most attractive residency programs for those not looking to relocate full-time. And by the way, these 7 days on average, it's basically 14 days every 2 years. So you could visit every 2 years for 14 days, or you can sort of like come and go throughout the, every 2 year window so that it adds up to 14 days. So a lot of people sort of mistakenly say 7 days a year when really it's 14 days every 2 years, providing you even more flexibility. Now let's talk about the benefit of residency and the pathway to citizenship. So after 5 years of holding the Golden Visa, you can apply for a permanent residency or Portuguese citizenship, offering visa-free travel within the Schengen area and the benefits of EU citizenship. So this is really attractive because you're spending on average 7 days a year in Portugal, and you're actually working towards citizenship. This is very unique in the world of RCBI, residency and citizenship by investment, where you're investing in a fund, you're able to get the money back, you're spending on average 7 days a year in Portugal, and you're working towards citizenship with only 7 days a year. Obviously, normal traditional residency routes in most countries, if you want to be on a path to citizenship, you need to be spending the majority of the year there, 183 days plus 6 months plus per year. So 7 days, this is huge. Now let's talk about the processing times. There have been efforts to reduce the backlog of applications with the Agency for Integration, Migration, and Asylum, the AIMA, and they're implementing measures to streamline the process. They're aware there is a backlog. However, expect processing times to still be around 10 to 14 months due to high demand. Cool. One other, it is taking a long time to process, but one saving grace to that is the 5 years towards citizenship counts from the moment you apply. In other words, maybe it takes 18 months for your residency visa to get accepted and to have that ability to live in Portugal full time and be a resident of Portugal, but the timeline to citizenship, the clock starts ticking as soon as you apply. So those 18 months that you're waiting for your residency to get approved, those 18 months still count towards citizenship. So realistically, the timeline might look like you apply, you wait 18 months, you get accepted, and then you wait another 3.5 years before applying to citizenship, okay? So that's that 5-year block and how that's going to look, which is pretty cool. This is something that was recently implemented in the last 6 to 12 months by Portugal as a response to the backlog that they are undergoing. So let's go a little bit more into detail about the current application process. So typically we start with a legal consultation, given the changes, the complexities, everything's sort of unique and customized to your situation. So starting with legal advice is highly recommended. There's going to be a link in the description where you can book a call with us, MyLatinLife, and get the process started. Then you'll be making your qualified investment. We'll help you choose the particular fund that you would like to invest in. There's dozens and dozens of different options, and we can help you weigh the pros and cons of the different options. The funds must be transferred through a Portuguese bank account, and you'll need to prove this investment. So part of the process is actually we're going to help you get a Portuguese bank account, and then once the bank account's set up, you transfer the money to there, and then from the Portuguese bank account, you make the investment in the fund. As a side note, even if you don't want to get the Golden Visa, we can help you get a Portuguese bank account remotely. That's a service that we have, so you can hit us up for the remote Portuguese bank account service. Next, you're going to gather your documents, including proof of investment, the criminal record background check, and proof of health insurance. We can help you get you a health insurance that qualifies, by the way. It's not going to be very expensive. And then the next step is the application in and of itself, submitting your application online, followed by an in-person appointment for biometrics, which can take some time to schedule due to high demand, but just keep in mind there will be an in-person aspect of things at some point in the process. And then boom, you will get your residence permit. Once approved, you'll receive your initial residence permit valid for 2 years, renewable every 2 years until you can apply for permanent residency. Now let's talk about the future of the Golden Visa. There's demand, there's adjustments, and despite the changes, demand remains high. Honestly, I'd say demand's higher than ever, especially from North America, the UK, and Asia. They're telling me that Americans are the fastest growing group of customers for the Portuguese Golden Visa. Americans are picking this up in droves, and there's even been a contingent in Silicon Valley among whom this has been growing in popularity. So even tech people in Silicon Valley are picking up this Portuguese Golden Visa. The Portuguese government continues to adjust the program to balance economic benefits with local housing needs and everything. So it's something that, book a call and we can assess your situation and let you know if there's any recent updates regarding, timelines, restrictions, benefits, things like that. Now, there's been talk on social media and in some news outlets about the Golden Visa potentially being phased out entirely in the future. However, as of early 2025, the program is still in place with the updated investment options. Okay, I think more of the talk is around the Spanish Golden Visa, which actually seems to be going away. It seems to be there's not going to be a Spanish Golden Visa anymore, which should actually make the Portuguese Golden Visa even more popular because the Portuguese Golden Visa seems to be here to stay. But this also means that if you want to take advantage of it, it's time to get on it now, get the process started now, because anyone who was maybe looking at the Spain Golden Visa is now going to be a customer of the Portuguese Golden Visa, or potentially, the Italian or the Greek Golden Visa. But really, in my opinion, all of those people who were doing the Spanish Golden Visa are now going to be doing the Portuguese Golden Visa, which is just increasing the demand even more and can potentially lead to more backlog. So that's why it's just good to get your application into the system as quickly as possible. In conclusion, the Portugal Golden Visa in 2025 remains a golden opportunity for investors looking to gain residency in Europe. The program's allure continues as its pathway to EU citizenship, minimal stay requirements, and the lifestyle Portugal offers. I mean, this program is incredible. It's an absolute no-brainer, basically for anyone who can pony up the $500K required to make that investment. But remember, the landscape of investment-based residency can change, so staying updated and acting swiftly and if interested is key. Again, there's a link in the description where you can book a call with us, MyLatinLife. We can get the process started for you. We've helped a number of people get their Portugal Golden Visa already. We work with the best funds and partners in the entire industry, and we can make this happen for you as well. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the latest on the Portugal Golden Visa. If this has sparked your interest or you're planning your next move, give this video a like, subscribe for more updates on global citizenship and residency, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. Leave your questions or thoughts in the comments below. Até logo, as they say, and here's to your new beginning in Portugal.